We're going to talk about manifestation.
Whether you know it or not, you're manifesting. So the question is, what are you manifesting? Welcome to the Healing Spirits Here and There podcast with Terri and Amanda, where you'll hear spiritual perspectives, weird mediumship experiences, and try intuitive and trust-building exercises for yourself. Join us every Friday. Like and subscribe to never miss a show, and let's get started. Welcome to the Healing Spirits Here and There podcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Terri. Today, we're going to talk about manifesting or manifestation. Amanda and I will give two stories of how something manifested for us, and then we're going to tell you how we do it. Easy peasy. What you got, Amanda?
Well, for me, manifesting, I try to kind of like set it and forget it.
Perfect.
Like, do you remember those old infomercials for they had like this turkey you could put in? Do you remember this? And they would say, you put the turkey in and then you just set it and forget it.
Is this a Betty Crocker commercial? Is this like in the 70s or something?
No, I bought one of these things.
Actually, you probably weren't even born until the 80s. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but go ahead.
But it was like this it was a rotisserie. That's what it was.
Okay, fine.
Anyways, that's always what I think. Set it and forget it, because the way manifestation works for me is I will find something I want or something I want to happen. But if you think about it too much and notice that you don't have it, then you're putting an obstacle in the way. So
Sure.
For me, I like to be oh, I like this thing, or I want this. And I just kind of put it onto my radar or whatever, stick it in my mind and be like, that seems nice. And then I try to not think about it. That's not really a huge tip, but that's what I do. I try to just not think about it, overthink about it, put too much energy into it. For example, I'm thinking about, I need a new car at some point, because with the dog and the baby, and I have a sedan, it just ain't working for me anymore. It's just too small. But I'm not sad and I'm not unhappy that I don't have a new car yet. But what I'm doing to manifest my new vehicle is just starting to look at them and really looking at the details on the inside. What does the wheel look like in this car? What will it feel like to step into that car? Will I like driving it? And kind of just imagining myself driving a different car that's bigger, and having fun imagining it, not having the thought of, I need this right now. Why don't I have it yet? But just having fun noticing what I want, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And allowing my imagination to play with whatever that new want or whatever is, that I'm trying to manifest, and keep it for me light and playful as possible. But there are serious issues too. And so maybe you think I can't keep that light and playful. For example, like maybe you're trying to manifest better health. That might not feel as light and playful. But you can still use that same idea of, oh, I'm starting to feel better. Or Terri, actually, you might have something to say, a good example that you can use that you just started doing.
Well, first of all, I want to go back to what you said, because I never knew I was manifesting. And someone approached me one time, a friend of mine, and said, teach me how you do this. And I said, do what? I'm not teaching you anything. I'm not a teacher, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yeah, every time you say you want something, it appears. It happens. When you want to see, do whatever, it happens. And I said, no way, no way. It's because I think, and this was 25 years ago, this was said to me. And I think it's because I didn't know that it was a word. I didn't know it was a thing. I just kind of thought that I was lucky. So I had to be dissected into it, saying, oh, there is something to this. But if you asked me how I did it, it was very similar to you. It was
Mhm.
just like, oh, I want X, Y, and Z. I want that new car. I'm going to get that new car. And it's like dropping a mic to me. I thought about it. I seen it. I dropped the mic. I walk away. I don't, I don't give it any more thought. I don't give it any more thought. You're giving a little thought, but you're giving it
Mhm.
happy, loving thought. And that's probably where I put up vision boards in my bathroom of different things, but that's when there's a magnitude of things to come in the future, right? This is what I would like
Mhm.
to look at. But going back real quick so I don't forget what I'm talking about, the cherry on top of that new car, once you've
Mhm.
settled, print it out. But I want you to go to the dealership, sit in it, and have your
Yep.
picture taken. So you
Mm,
take your picture,
mhm.
all happy driving it. You come home, you print it out, you put it on the bathroom mirror.
Mhm.
And you're like, God, I just love my new car. I just love my new car. Right.
It might be too much for me because then I might
Oh,
think like, "Oh, yeah, well, there's that car I don't have yet." But if I think I would if I saw it every day and I haven't been able to get it.
you
So
just
it
say,
just
oh, they're building my car. They're making my car.
that's
Spirit or the
true.
universe is making room for that to fit in my budget.
Mhm.
It's going to come when I need it the most.
Mhm. But you
Right.
gotta know yourself because if you're the kind of person that if you see it, you have a negative thought,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll never get
don't
that car.
yep, then don't do it because that I feel like when you place that obstacle in front of the thing
Mm-hmm.
you want, that is what energetically stops it. And so
Mm-hmm.
do as much as you can until you feel yourself adding negative energy. And as soon as you do that, back off.
Mm-hmm.
Forget it if you have to.
Right. So let's go back to like manifesting something happening. I want to do this podcasting and I want to do it in my studio. I want to do FaceTime readings in my studio. I don't want to worry about the phone ringing, the cat knocking this stuff over, or yada, 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 right?
Mhm.
So Starlink is the only thing that we have come up with. It's supposed to be pretty shit hot. And so I'm on this waiting list. It's a year-long waiting list. My neighbor got on it in September, I think, October, and I got on it in December. Well, of course, it's just a year, so you just kind of forget about it. But they're tricky because they don't tell you, you can't talk to humans with them. So they send you an email, you pay, and you just have to bank that they don't forget you through the internet, right? And so my neighbor said that he got his, and I said, how long did that take? He says, oh, about 6 months. And I said, huh, okay. So in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, better go look this up. December is when mine should have been. So I'm thinking 6 months easy, June. June. I'm okay with June. But I went to bed thinking, nope, I'm going to get it sooner because I need that to reach our people that are watching. I needed to do my clear readings in an environment that I'm really happy in. And
Mhm.
that's it. I went to bed saying, I'm going to get it sooner.
Mm.
And that's me putting it out there, dropping my mic, forget about it. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't, right?
Mhm.
I'm not lying. Woke up the next morning and there is a thing that says Starlink is ready for you.
Mm.
And I
Mhm.
was like, no freaking way. That was so fast because the time frame that they had, that shouldn't have happened. Well, maybe they got ahead of it, but still I had a year waiting list. But sometimes we're human and I'm just like you. You and anybody else, you tell me there's one person out there that don't have that negative thought, then I don't know who they are. I don't
Right,
know
well,
why
it's
they
not
think like
like
that.
you won't eventually manifest what you want. It just might take longer or be harder. And the other thing is, you know, I've watched a lot of Abraham Hicks or listened to. And
Yeah.
one thing that I gathered from that was like whatever it is, it shouldn't feel like a big surprise either. It shouldn't be like so outlandish that you can't ever believe that it would actually happen to you. It should feel like, of course, this is going to happen. This is the next plausible thing that could happen to me. Of course, this is a step in the direction I'm going. So if you're like, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow, mic drop, that probably isn't exactly how it's going to work. You
Right.
know, you got to think more realistic in steps. Like, is there a job you want that's going to help you make more income? Maybe start there to go up to something like that.
Right. Because it's not a genie in a bottle.
Exactly.
Taryn sometimes reaches out for advice. Imagine
Mhm.
that. She wanted this job at the Grand Canyon. So she went and applied for it. And then she went into her spiel of, oh, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. They haven't called. Mom, am I going to get this job? And I said, yes, I do think you're going to get it. I just feel like it's not going to be as fast as you want it. But if it's meant for you to have it, then it'll come when it's supposed to. Leave it alone, ignore it. So she calls and they told her that she had the job. But it
That's
had
awesome.
been maybe 7, 8, 9 days since she last talked to me. But there was
Mhm.
obstacles. She was so excited about the application that she held it up without knowing it
Mm.
because she was so excited. It asked for her birthday and she put the date in it was for that day, right? So then it takes time to go to HR and then they have to
Right.
call you back. So now they're
Right.
calling going, you were just born. I don't know how this happened.
Mhm.
And so she had she had a big, I was going to say a little blonde moment. It was a big blonde moment, right? But you don't know why she wasn't, that happened for a reason to me, you
Mhm.
know? And she's got the job. She loves her job. So
Aw, that's so
kudos.
cool.
So that I can see. I can see
Mhm.
a lot of things, but the example wasn't that Taryn manifested. It was the fact that Taryn put that self doubt out there, and I'm over here going, don't.
Right. And another way that I manifest, and I know I've mentioned it on the show before, is making a list of things without an expectation of when you get them, just a list of things. So, for example, I talk to a lot of people who want a new job. They don't necessarily know where they want to work. They just know they don't want to work at their work. So, what I always say, because this is what I've done, is start making a list. And if you don't know what you want to do, write how you want to feel. I want to feel respected. I want to feel like I'm accomplishing something. I want to feel productive. I want to feel liked. I want to feel like I'm on a fun team. So maybe you don't know where you're going to work or exactly, those details, but start manifesting because the most important thing is how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much every moment, you can be in any bad situation, you can be wherever. But if you feel okay or you're in control of your emotions, that's what really matters. And so,
Mm-hmm.
for most things, so if you could become aware of how you want to feel, start writing that down and because maybe at work right now you don't feel appreciated, you think your boss is mean, whatever, XYZ. Fill in what you do want. And I think for me, for me, it's really helpful.
But what if they're looking for a new job because that environment doesn't give them that, but they start looking at that and maybe the job flips and says, and all of those things that they desire are actually happening in their workplace.
Well, it could.
Mm-hmm.
And so they could put my new work or current work. This is what I want. Either your job can change, something can change and maybe that environment changes for you because you have
Mm-hmm.
to be open to those things, which maybe if you're really concentrated on the negative, you're not actually open to some of the positivities that could be there or grown, from
Absolutely.
connections that could be made. So I just really want to quickly tell you about a quick manifestation story that I had a few years ago,
Okay.
probably 5 years ago or something. I like Harry Potter a lot. I read all the books and, of course, seen the movies. And I had heard of the Harry Potter play in New York, The Cursed Child.
Mm.
And, anyways, I did not think I've never been to New York. I've never even been on the East Coast. And I saw this like email or something came up when I was at a break at work. And so I checked it and it's like Harry Potter tickets to, this play in New York. And the tickets were like $800, $900 a piece.
For
I
a
was like,
play?
for the Harry Potter play in New York. Yep.
Oh
And
my God.
so I laughed and I go, oh my God. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to David and I said, that's hilarious. Who would ever go to this? And then we both laughed about it and then we went back to work. I get a text message, a group text message from David's sister in law, and it says, I have Harry Potter tickets for July. I'm not going to be able to go. Would anyone like to use my tickets? I have four. It's for the play in New York. I'm not kidding, Harry. I kid you not. I texted David on the side and I said, did you just text or call her and ask her about these tickets? Because his sister in law gets tickets like pre sale. She's part of all these groups. And so she'll get
Hmm.
really good deals, you know? And so she'll have tickets to all kinds of things. And he said, I didn't say anything to her. And me and David and his mom and one of his little sisters, we all flew to New York and we went and saw the Harry Potter play in downtown.
Wow. Like,
It was just crazy. And I stood up and I said to my coworkers, oh my God, you guys, I just talked about those Harry Potter tickets. I said, David's sister in law just asked if any of us wanted Harry Potter tickets. And they're like, what? Like, are you kidding me right now? I
right,
don't know. But
right.
I feel like because I never planned on going to the Harry Potter play, I just saw it
Yeah.
and then thought like, whoa, that's crazy.
Hmm.
But I wasn't disappointed because in no way did I really think, oh, I'm going to go to New York and go see Harry Potter. So I didn't
Yeah,
have,
because you're not a baller.
yeah, I was just like, that's crazy. I don't know. It was just totally unbelievable.
That's a
Totally.
cool one.
Yeah,
That's a cool
it
one.
was really awesome. I hope it doesn't
Hmm.
cost that much now. I don't know how much it costs, but if anyone gets a chance to go see it, it's really good.
That's pretty cool.
It's
I'm
pretty
going to
cool.
Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
A few weeks out, maybe. I'm going. I'll bring you back a surprise.
All right, cool. But
So
is there any other manifestation things that you do?
I like to do the pictures. I like the vision board a lot. It could be done in the manifestation way. Just a picture on your bathroom mirror could be the same too.
Yeah.
To take a picture of something that you want. Um, I think that like I have what I call parking karma. I have
Mm-hmm.
parking peeps,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone notices it. Like, how do you always get in the front row? I said, I don't always get in the front row. Just don't get cocky about it. It'll happen, right? Like, but I don't go in
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm like, I'm in the front row. I could be late, blah, blah, blah. And it's there. Yeah, that ain't happening. They're saying, huh, we got you. You need to leave a little earlier, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like that, but I do get front row parking. I do like front row parking. Um, I should walk more, but I like front row parking. So I call it parking
Mm-hmm.
karma, but I think it's a manifestation that I know I'm going to have good parking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your mom and I just went and saw John Edwards, and not only did I get good parking, which I thought would be totally packed, but it wasn't. Well, maybe we were a little early, but we were also the first ones in line and the first ones in the planes. It was fun. It was fun. But
Right.
whatever, that's not our topic today. Our topic is manifesting, but I did that.
Yeah. But manifesting too, and I think with like open parking spots, if you're like, you're getting close to being to your location and you want there to be a good spot, a good way to manifest one is to imagine in your mind, in your third eye or whatever for a moment, that a car is pulling out just as you're pulling up. And I feel like that visualization part is
Mhm.
really, really important to the
Mhm.
manifesting. At
Sure.
least with me, it is.
It is. It is. And that's good. So when that happens. So we could start little, and let's start with a free coffee. Let's start with, a friend comes over and offers you something that you were looking for. Me, I'm looking for somebody to help me with my computers, and the right person will come into my view and say, I could help you with that. My
Mhm.
manifestation for this coming week or two or whatever is my health. It is my health.
Yeah.
Things going on. I have a lot of doctor's appointments. I just want to be the best conduit I can for myself and for
Mhm.
others and for spirit, right? So that's my manifestation.
But I wanted to, before you move on from like the health stuff, because it's really hard to manifest when you don't feel good. It's hard to manifest good health when you feel bad. But you've been doing something that I think is helpful. So
Mhm.
I was hoping you could share that.
I'm setting up what I think I want from the doctors. But I think my mind processes I'm feeling better. This is good. This is good. I'm evolving. I'm evolving.
Right.
Speaking of
But you're telling
evolving,
yourself too, like, I'm starting to feel better, or
mhm,
like my
mhm.
body is healing itself,
I
or
feel
just,
good today. I feel good
yeah.
today. I feel good today. Even if I don't, I feel good today,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, but I'm doing a lot of herbs and I'm doing a lot of stuff. I like to use the word because when I got really sick, if you keep saying that you're sick, you're going to be sick. If you say, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to get that car, you're not going to get that car,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm going to stay sick. I'm keeping myself sick. So I have to learn a different word. So what's my word? I'm evolving. That's the word that I
Mm-hmm.
used, which the first time I really heard it in a context was way back in the day. John Edwards, ironically, uses the evolve. I feel like it's spiritually. Like when I come out of COVID, I saw the person walking down the street. So that was, I evolved into a
Mm-hmm.
better, higher place or situation for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I call it evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, this doesn't really have to do with manifestation, but listen to it because yesterday we were supposed to have this family event to go to a street fair in Mount Vernon, and I didn't feel well. And I just thought, well, I'm fine. I'm fine. And
Yeah.
we're going to go. So we went.
Oh,
I got
excuse
really
me.
sick, like out of nowhere, just like, Les, we need to go home. And so I apologized to, Jeffrey and Judith and JJ, and you're on your own. We're going home. So I'm literally crying because I wanted to go see the tulips. I wanted to be with the kids. So in my mindset, I'm not saying nothing to Les, but I'm like trying not to cry as I'm driving. I normally drive in the left lane or the right lane, fast lane or the slow lane, never in the middle. I don't know why. But anyways, I was in the middle lane. And this little car all of a sudden moved out. And what I thought I saw on this vehicle in front of me was the word evolve.
Mm.
And I stopped crying and I said, holy shit, is that what that says? So now I'm trying to go faster to catch up and to get Les to take a picture of this
Mm.
car. And it says evolve. I feel like sometimes when me personally, when you get too wrapped up into doing whatever you're doing, you're not taking enough time for you, well, then they're saying, slow down, slow down. You're in charge of your schedule, but you keep booking and booking because I don't want to say no to nobody, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
in letting them in puts me down. Not on everybody, it's my energy, right? I just don't know how to recover my energy. So, that's it's all part of that, right? And you're not
Mm-hmm.
listening because I keep putting people in. Well, it's okay. It's okay. One more. It's okay. One more. And then I'm sick. That's
Mm-hmm.
my sign to me sometimes. Well, I must be not feeling well for a reason. You wouldn't
Right.
listen to your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't listen to your peeps. They showed you all the
Mm-hmm.
signs. So we're going to make you take a break.
Yep.
And now you've rested for 2 weeks and now you're good to go. Right?
So you really are talking about manifesting, because whether you know it or not, you're manifesting. So the question is, what are you manifesting? Are you manifesting illness? Are you manifesting more of the same situations? Are
Mm-hmm.
you manifesting more frustrations?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a perfect story.
I want to know what my part is in my healing. What do I need to work on? Mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, like where can we be more responsible for our
Mm-hmm.
lives and pick up or what's like
Mm-hmm.
our blind spot, you know?
Oh, that's a good idea. Blind spot.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
my blind spot?
You know, I don't think you can manifest for somebody else.
Yeah.
You want somebody to get that job or whatever. Terry, an example, I did want her to get the job,
Mhm.
but she didn't ask me as a manifesting person. She asked me as a psychic mom, right? So that
Mhm.
was my how what I picked up on. So
Mhm.
I don't
Just like
think you can.
Noah, right?
Hmm.
Noah's like a little over a year and a half.
Hmm.
He has a very terrible sickness. I can't
Hmm.
manifest him better. I can
Hmm.
visualize the doctor telling me he's all clear,
Hmm.
but honestly, I
Hmm.
don't want to overdo it either with the manifestation by overdoing it. And so
Hmm.
I've done that a lot, but I've
Hmm.
backed off recently because I don't want to keep putting so much energy into just that subject, just like everything else. I want to kind of set it and forget it, but be as responsible as I can. Obviously, he's another
Hmm.
human I have to take care of and make sure that he's in the best health he can be. But I don't want to spend so much energy on that subject,
Hmm.
but it's
It could
hard
be
when
a
it's
lot
home.
of energy on that subject. Like when I put it out on my page and they were all praying and setting their timers to pray for Noah, that's a
Mhm.
positive thing. Everybody had the same thought
Yeah.
process
Yep.
for a better outcome. But in reality, we don't know why people get sick or why people would go
Mhm.
through what X, Y, and Z. It's not just sick, a death, and whatever.
Yeah.
That's our path somehow, some way. We just don't. It's horrible because you're a mom, mom and
Mhm.
dad, and you have to watch the child go through this. What's the path? Well, let's just manifest a good outcome
Mhm. Yep.
for all people around as best as we can.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
So, but manifesting can be fun. And like we said here, write it down, visualize it, do a vision board. I've drawn a picture or painted a picture before. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Just,
Hmm.
you know, and let your imagination have some fun
Oh
without.
God, if you're an artist, God, can you imagine the sky's like the limit, right? You want
Mhm,
a new house, you draw the house. Me,
mhm,
I would draw a house, two windows and a door, maybe. I don't want to, if I ever did it again, I would want a rambler. But,
mhm.
um, but you could put the kitchen in there. You could put the bathroom in there. You could put all these swatches in there.
Somebody had me do actually, I think one time it was with you and my mom. We went and saw James Van Prague, and he had us go into our dream house
Mm,
and just go through, and that's just something you can do too. Like maybe you're not trying to manifest a new house right now, but do fun exercises like that.
mhm.
Just, you know, s- it's good to meditate every day, but it's also good to let your imagination run free with things like that. Just sit there, close your eyes, imagine your most perfect house, your most perfect day.
But then
Mm.
some people are looking at things that they need to manifest. That might be health, or it might be grief, or it might be something else. But there's always something
Exactly.
that we could do better.
Mhm.
When
Right,
we
everything
talked,
isn't fun.
no, not everything is
No,
fun.
it's not.
No, that's called life.
Mhm.
Shitty as that may be. Um, shitty as that may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I manifested our first house.
Mhm.
We would drive by it all the time, and as it was being built, and I would, it would, to me it looked like a mansion because it just did.
Mhm.
We were in a duplex in the military housing. It looked like a mansion to me. So I said, one of these days that's going to be my house. One of these days that's, oh, there's my house. Yep, there's my
Mhm.
house. And my grandma lived down the road from there. And I always said that if we ever had a house, we had to buy close to Grammy so I could, if I had to, walk to her if I needed to. Well, then this house went on the market when we were able to look for a house. And he's like,
Mhm.
I've got two or three on this list. And I said, I want to look at this one. And
Mhm.
so, because it looked like that house, but it was a sketch, it wasn't the picture of a house. And
Mm.
so he turned down the road, and I said, are you going to go to this second corner and make a right? He goes, I am. I said, "Is this on a corner house, like on this road and two corner?" And he said, "Yes." And we
Mhm.
got there and I said, "Oh my God, this is my house. This is my house." And he goes, "Okay, but just don't settle on this." And I said, "No, you don't understand. I need this house." And so he goes, "I'm going to show you two more." Fine. So he shows me two more, and they were all on the opposite side of the freeway. And I said, "Okay, I'm done looking at these houses." So, anyways, we went back, and it listed on his paper, it listed like whatever it was like $10,000 more than what was in our budget. And
Mm.
then I said, "I wonder if they would go down." He goes, "Nobody goes down like that." And I was like, "Well, you don't know until you ask, I want that
Mhm.
house." And so when he brought it up on his machine, he goes, "Well, that's funny because it's been lowered to that amount,
Mhm.
but the paper said different." And that was our first brand spanking new home.
So it's so funny that you mentioned that because the house where we live, we totally manifested this house too. Totally. David and I moved his parents' basement. They live in a very nice neighborhood. And so we're living in the basement, kind of just staying there until we find our place. And we take Brody, the dog, on a walk through the neighborhood all the time. So we're going in the same loop. Well, this house, one street over from his parents, goes for sale. It's like too much. So, but we want to look at it because we love looking at houses. And so we just go look at the house because for the fun of it. And so we're like, dude, this house is awesome. It's so big. The master bedroom is like no master bedroom I've ever seen. It's just so cool. And we love it, right? And we're like, nice house. Anyways, let's go back about our lives. And so whenever we take Brody on a walk and we walk past this house, you go, there's our house. Oh, look, there's our
Yeah.
house. We're just kidding. We walk by it. And then it went pending. So somebody, is buying it. And we go, oh, shoot, someone bought our house. We're just like, whatever. And every time we walk by, oh, man, when are they going to move into our house? And so then one day we're on Redfin. We're still looking at houses. The house is back on Redfin and the price is lower. And so it's still at like the very highest that would want to spend. And so David's mom says, we should go look at that house, up the street. You should go check it out again. The price got lowered. And I was like, yeah, I saw that. So we come over and we look at it again. And we're like, yeah, that house is cool. But it's a little too much. And interest rates had went down. So then we were like, well, just for the fun of it, let's see what our payment would be.
Mhm.
So with the new interest rate and the price being lowered, it was like only $300 more a month than we were paying to rent a house in Everett.
Wow.
And it is so much nicer. And it's in this beautiful neighborhood. I would have never even thought about living.
I like that.
It's
I like
funny.
that a lot. Yeah, because it
Mhm.
was brand new construction. But
But like you said too, seeing it, it was familiar. We saw it probably 4 or 5
Mhm,
times a week. So you saying put a picture up probably is a
mhm,
really good idea because we took a walk almost, I think, probably every day and we'd see the house and then just joke around about it.
mhm.
So,
I
anyways.
might I might be psychic.
So those are our manifestation tips and stories. I hope they helped you guys.
I want to know if anybody has any stories they'd like to share and
Yeah.
tell us what they've manifested. And when we ask you to manifest something and you're going through something that's major,
Yeah.
then probably going to take a little longer to get to it.
Mhm.
But start easy because once you see something happen, oh, I'm going to manifest, a bird. I'm going to manifest a dime. I'm going to manifest this, which are supposed to be signs from our loved ones. But then,
Mhm.
okay, you're asking, aren't you? When you get it,
Mhm.
how do you feel when you get it? You got validated, someone heard you put it out there and you got it, right?
Mhm.
Same thing. Same thing.
Yep.
So if you start small, then you can turn around and keep building. You're like, oh, I know what that feels like. This is how you got to do it. I didn't give it any
Mhm.
doubt, If you don't you want this job and you just can't get this job. Every obstacle is in your way to get that job because you know that that's the job that you want, right? Well, probably because you've attached some form of negative outcome to it. Oh, I don't deserve it. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Why
They're
would
not
they
gonna
pick
like
me?
me,
Right,
something.
right, right. So then and I know I have another family member that did this, and it took a year and a half to finally get that dream job, so to speak. Was it baller money? Can have the potential to get there, but you can't just start off at 100,000 a year. You know what I mean? You've got to work up the chain, but you get where you're going. You
Hmm.
know,
Right. We're just in our own way sometimes.
right? Yeah.
So,
But I like today's topic.
yeah, it's a fun one.
Well, I'm manifesting that this Starlink does work in my studio.
That'd be
I am
cool.
going to manifest healthy, mindful mind, body, and soul body.
Hmm.
So I am going to manifest that. I'm going to manifest that everybody feels somehow, some way loved. As always, from my heart to yours, I love you. Thank you for